Hello, it's certainly going to be a milder week compared to last week, but how much rain can we expect? Well, these are the rainfall totals throughout the week. You'll see that most areas are at risk of seeing at least some rain, but it's by Thursday and Friday when we could see some quite heavy rain, actually bringing up the totals to western and southern parts of the UK. There is some uncertainty in that. That's all down to an area of low pressure. I'll show you more details on that in just a moment. But through Monday evening, we'll see the area of low pressure that's brought the pretty windy weather to parts of Scotland move away, so a calmer night to come Tuesday night, and then two fronts move in to sandwich more central parts of the UK by Tuesday morning, and this brings outbreaks of rain. So a pretty damp day on the cards for most areas through Tuesday. Some pretty heavy bursts of rain here and there for many central and southern areas. To the north, it should dry up into the afternoon, but a northwesterly wind will move in, and that will bring a fresher feel. So a slightly cooler afternoon here. Elsewhere though, still a relatively mild afternoon. Temperatures just above average, but there's not going to be very much sunshine at all. Pretty damp day to come on Tuesday. Now that mild air and that weather front pushes away to the south and east through Tuesday evening and into Wednesday, and behind it a ridge of high pressure just for a time, a more settled period, but that will make for a pretty cold start to the day on Wednesday. Quite widely rurally we can expect a frost. There's a risk of ice as well, but there will be plenty of sunshine around. More cloud in the south and east as a result of that weather front not quite just clearing the southeast yet, but it should do as we head through the morning. So I think Wednesday looks like the best day of the week if you're after dry and sunny weather. It won't last all that long across more western areas. You can see this next weather front moving into parts of Northern Ireland and Scotland. The winds picking up here too. And the cloud will thicken ahead of that for many western areas of the UK. The longest lived sunshine into the afternoon and early evening, clear skies across more eastern areas. And after the chilly start, temperatures will struggle a little bit on Wednesday. So it's going to be a slightly cooler day, but more in the way of sunshine. That weather front then pushes further eastwards through Wednesday night, but it's to the south where we need to look for that area of low pressure I mentioned earlier that could bring the potentially quite wet and windy weather. So it develops as it approaches the UK, and as a result there's still some uncertainty in exactly the position and the track of that area of low pressure. This is the global model, the UK Met Office model. That's what we're thinking by around Friday lunchtime. This area of low pressure pushes up from the south and moves up to the northeast of the UK. It's quite a deep area of low pressure in some model runs that we're seeing. That brings the risk of some quite strong winds actually, particularly across coastal areas. But there is some uncertainty, and other models and other model runs are coming up with different solutions. So this is where the area of low pressure is on the Met Office deterministic model by Friday lunchtime. But if we look at the European model, this is one of the model outputs, and this just shows an example of various outputs we're seeing. Now there's about a 30% chance of the low pressure system looking a little bit more like this, and that's a less filled area of low pressure. It wouldn't bring as stronger winds, and it's still further south. It's not moved quite as far north, so that would likely focus the rain for more southern areas. Let's have a look at how the Met Office model plays out, however, because this is currently the most likely situation. So we'll rewind back to Thursday to see how the weather plays out for Thursday. So that weather front bringing some cloud and rain pushing eastwards through the morning, but a relatively dry day, showers around for many northern areas. To the south though, that area of low pressure bringing outbreaks of potentially quite heavy rain, particularly to parts of South Wales, the south coast as well. Still a mild day, and ahead of this the cloud would likely thicken across parts of Scotland into Northern Ireland as well, with the best of any dry weather to the far north of Northern Ireland and the far north of Scotland. So a bit of a split picture for Thursday. And then that low pressure, if it does continue to track further northwards, would move into parts of Northern England, Scotland, and skirt along the north and east. So I think Northern Ireland would escape much of the heaviest rain, as well as western Scotland. There's potentially some quite brisk winds, gale force winds around this area of low pressure. As it meets that colder air, it could bring some snow to the highest ground across parts of Scotland and the Pennines. Then once it does clear away, We're expecting showers to move in from the south and west. So there is some uncertainty on the timings of the rain, and particularly across northern areas, how much rainfall there will be. I'll show you a few more details on that in just a moment. But as you can see, the temperatures for Friday around average for the time of year. The winds will be particularly strong through the beginning part of the day around the area of low pressure, keeping temperatures up in the morning. So this is the rainfall totals for Thursday. We've got a few different models here. We've got the Met Office model behind me, the European model here, and the GFS model here, the American model. And you can see for the 24 hours of Thursday, although there's a few differences, most of the rain is focused across more southern areas, particularly across more southwestern areas. You can see that GFS model not quite picking up areas across parts of Wales, but we're going with mostly the Met Office and the European model at this stage. So I think as that front initially comes in, that low pressure system initially comes in, we can trust it. But into Friday, the 24 hours from Friday into Saturday, there are a few more differences with how that rainfall distribution is across more northern areas. So the European model that doesn't bring that low pressure up quite as far north, doesn't really have as much heavy rain across more northern areas, but the Met Office model has the focus of some quite heavy rain Friday and into Saturday. So a few differences throughout Friday between that area of low pressure, the potential for some quite wet and windy weather Thursday into Friday. So that is one to watch throughout this week, and you can do that by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Have a great week. I'll see you soon.